Shalom, good morning. This is our, look at the wear on my face. I'm getting dehydrated. What is this, second day? Second day of Sukkot. No, second day of the week. About the 5th day of Sukkot. And I have another phone. I did not find my other phone. But I do have confidence if Yahweh wants me to find the other phone, I will. This one's just a buffer phone for the in-between time. So I can make videos on this, and this is the first one to see how this one records. Hopefully it's got good visuals and sound, because you all have commented on those things on my other videos, and so I thank you for that. Gives me something to look for in improving. And then, good morning! I'll be up in a few minutes to milk the ladies and visit the guys, move them around a little bit, make sure everybody has water. Sorry, got off topic. Very unusual for me. I wanted to talk about cell phones because as old as I am, I saw the first cell phones come out. The little flip phones and the little straight phones. And back in the good old days, the first company I used was T-Mobile. And they had a great deal for our area. And the first phone they gave you when you signed up to use their service. So you didn't have to buy your phone, which I thought was very generous of them. And then back in those days, your minutes were limited. Like, according to how much you paid, you had like 30 minutes a month or 60 minutes a month or whatever it was. And I believe if you used the phone between 7 and midnight, the calls were free. But if you used it during the day and you went over your 30 minutes, you had a charge. Excuse me. Had tea this morning. A little tough on my tummy. It's been, I don't know, 20 years or something? No, not quite that long. 12 years, something like that, when my son was young. It's when these phones came out. And when you went over your minutes, you got charged extra, and it was a big deal. And back then, everybody still had the phone in the house. And your long distance was a big deal because long distance costs more and only local calls were free. And then the first change that came in the phones that I noticed was your minutes went up, and then your phones were no longer free. We got our first 3 free, I think. And then after that, you had to pay for them. And at the time, T-Mobile had like an activation fee of $200 or something, a joining fee. And if you quit your service before, and you had to sign it for a certain amount of time. So if you quit your contract before the time was up, you had to pay like a $250 early quitting fee. And so, boy, you'd better like that service because you were hooked into it for a while. But I have to defend T-Mobile. They were a very good service when we had them. More than once, when I needed extra minutes, they gave them to me for free. And usually I was asking for emergencies, not just because I was using the phone too much. And also, when texting first came out, they were very clear that, you know, text, you could have like 10 texts a month or something free, and then after that they would start charging. And my son got his phone. He was like 15 years old, and all his friends had phones. So pretty soon he's texting, and he's like 297 minutes over his limit or something, and he owes this big bill. And I called T-Mobile, and their customer service said, how about if we cut it in half? How about if we, instead of it being a $300 bill, we make it $90? And I thanked them, and I said, yeah. And I stayed with them. I stayed with T-Mobile for a very long time in the cell phone world, about 10 years. And they would thank me every time I called them up, too. And their service was excellent. They did all sorts of things for me. When I couldn't get very good service at my house, they sent me the boosters. I mean, they really were good. But it just became, you know, practical reality that the area I'm in right now, there wasn't very good service, and I needed service. So I switched. And the local carrier here that that has all the towers and everything is Verizon, but I don't like their phones. I don't like their service. But they have good deals, so I'm not dissing them. I'm not saying you're bad or whatever if you have Verizon. I'm just saying they're not the particular company for me. So the phone that I lost was a gift. It was like an iPhone, Apple iPhone 4. Really nice phone. I liked all the things. I was very used to it, but as you all pointed out, sometimes the film quality and stuff, sometimes the film quality and voice quality and stuff on it were not the greatest. And I was starting to have trouble with my thumbs and the visuals, like the letters and stuff were small and my thumbs thick and not as quick, and so it took me a while to text things and type things in, but it was good. So now my new phone is this one, and it's got bigger text and I think it's simpler as far as the operations, but I'm having my issues with it. And the whole reason I'm making this cell phone video is because this technology has leapt light years. Now I get unlimited phone calls, I get unlimited texting, and I get unlimited data on this thing. And data nobody even knew data. Back when the first phones came out, they didn't have any way to do data, I don't think. And now it's unlimited, and I'm watching videos and movies and whatever I want on my phone. The phone has replaced movie theaters, televisions, it's replaced typewriters, it's allowed, such free access of communication, and it's had its blessings and, its curses. We've lost our privacy, but we also have unlimited, it's like the Encyclopedia Britannica and everything else in the world are on this phone. I can access all kinds of things. I can access videos from Japan, and I can access data from, government websites, the Smithsonian website. I don't have to go to the Smithsonian, although I would if I was near it. But I can take a virtual tour of it and everything else. It is an amazing time. So then the question becomes, what's next? Everyone talks about having the chip in your arm, and there was the character, I'm trying to remember what the book called, but there was a character in it, and he could just jack into the computer system by putting a thing in the back of his head. They do it in Matrix, but it was in a book first. Neuromancer, I think it was called. And so, is that coming? Are we going to just be jacking ourselves into the internet and maybe even being able to scan ourselves to another country? I mean, look at 3D copying. That's getting pretty darn close to teleportation. So, I don't know where it's going. I don't know. I thought of it myself like a watch that's now a computer, but it's so small, I don't know how you would be able to control that. I wouldn't be able to see keys and stuff. So, I'm just saying, what's next, and what do you think is next? What do you think is coming down the pike? All right, shalom, bless you.